Hi, sisters and brothers. I'm Gary Kapanowski. I'm the past president of AFSCME Local 1723 at Temple University in Philadelphia. And I just wanted to say a few words about the past, about our local, and also about the future that we're facing now in the year 2009. Brothers and sisters, in 1974, when I started Temple University in the biology department, there was no union representing professional technical employees on the main campus and surrounding satellite campuses. And so we started to organize one. It took us 3 years to get enough support to organize for an actual vote, which took place in 1977 in the basement of Paley Library. There were 425 people eligible to vote, and over 90% voted, and over 90% voted yes for the union in a secret ballot. It was a tremendous victory. We had a lot of enthusiasm in our first contract, a lot of activity coming from the organizing drive itself. That energy was still there. And in 1977, we saw the power of union. But before we got to our first contract, Temple decided to outsource our computer workers, both professional and non-professional computer workers, to a private company called SCT, and we went on strike to support those workers. The strike didn't last long. We were ordered back to work by a court order, but the birth of the union was there. There were 350 of us left in the bargaining unit at Temple. The computer workers were working now with a private company called SCT, which we later organized and are still part of our local today. We organized them under the National Labor Relations Act as a separate bargaining unit within our local. And so we went on to our first contract representing 350 people, a diverse group of people from all over the campus, over 100 different buildings and 5 different campuses. And we increased our health care coverage tremendously. We ended the copay, which at that time was 50% copay and Family Blue Cross, and a very poor plan, Plan B. We ended up with Plan C, a much more comprehensive and better Blue Cross Blue Shield plan, and there were no copays for anybody. That was a big victory for all of us at Temple University. We also ended up with decent pay raises, and we ended up with our first Blue Cross Blue Shield dental plan ever. In addition to that, there was a woman going around the country. She was the orange juice queen of Florida. Her name was Anita Bryant. She's an alleged singer who was going around to various cities around the country pushing the repealing of rights for gay and lesbian citizens, rights to have a job, rights to have a home to live in. And she was being quite successful at getting those repealed using homophobia, hatred, and scare tactics. Many of our members who were gay and lesbian were frightened by this because we were afraid that what happened in other cities might happen to Philadelphia, where the attack on gay people would mean no secure jobs. Therefore, our local, in its first contract, demanded that Temple University put in its protection clause sexual orientation to protect gay and lesbian workers from unfair treatment. And we were confronted by Temple with a rejection of that. They were afraid of Anita Bryant coming. They were afraid of a state legislature where Temple gets 1/3 of its budget, where there's a lot of conservative, anti-gay people in the legislature holding back monies to punish us if we agreed to sexual orientation protection. Our membership stood behind the demand, and we made it a strike demand. We got sexual orientation added to the contract. It was another big victory. And not only that, 2 years later, Temple University added it for the entire campus, for all employees, not just our members. We're very proud of that. We received an award from the Human Rights Campaign Fund, Elizabeth Birch, for getting one of the first unions to get sexual orientation protection in the late 70s. Sisters and brothers, not only did we increase benefits over all these years, the 30 years I was president, but we also are now facing a wholly different situation since I've left. And that's very important now for everyone to understand. Paul Denenfelser and the executive board of 1723, Paul's the president who replaced me, are doing and have been conducting a valiant fight for a fair and decent contract for all Temple workers. I'm so proud of Paul and our executive board and our stewards who have been waging this fight. We've not had a raise for almost 2 years at Temple, even though I left. I still use the word we. I still feel part of the union because because it is part of my life for so long. Sisters and brothers, what is going on in our country today is going on at Temple. Corporatization of our country has led to the fiscal disaster that lies all ahead of all of us for many years to come. Temple University is walking down the same path. The administration of President Hart has decided to punish labor, to go after workers' benefits, and to go after workers' pensions in order to trim budget cutbacks, which could better be served by an administration that fought to limit the top salaries of its highly paid administrators who are undeserving of the kind of raises when today Temple's fundraising budget is down by 30%. Where Temple administrators are in the newspapers and on public TVs insulting our public officials, from Ed Rendell, a Democrat, to Republican John Taylor, who are trying to do their fiduciary responsibility for the taxpayers of Pennsylvania, who contribute 1/3 of the budget of Temple University to be used on behalf of the citizens, not some private institution like a Walmart that the Board of Temple Trustees under Richard Fox and President Hart have become. We need to stand up to this kind of corporatization nationally. We need to stand up to it at Temple. We need to take back our government. We need to take back our public universities from these effete people who have decided to put themselves up ahead of everybody else. Damn the university, damn education. We say, help us do this by standing firm, standing together. Solidarity works, brothers and sisters. Hold on to our benefits. Let's march forward together with working people here and around the world to build a better world. Let's take our university back. Thanks so much for listening.